Citythebeatmaster.
MPC 101. This course will highlight simple techniques and the navigation throughout the MPC modes and important controls. So let's start with the obvious. Today we have the MPC Renaissance in all of its glory and perfection. Well, not quite, because first, you're gonna need a computer. Yeah, that thing that we all can't live without. Or is that my cell phone? Okay, enough jokes, but seriously, your Renaissance wouldn't survive. It is a hardware controller meant to work hand in hand with the power of your computer and the software. Combining the two, and you have the most powerful MPC ever built. It's kind of funny because you need these different pieces to come together to create this powerful machine that... let me stop with the cartoon references. But it's true. You can grab a USB cable, a few plugins, and start making masterpieces. See what I did there? Pieces, master, everything coming together like Voltron. Okay, I'll stop. Okay, now that we've gotten over how cool the MPC is, let's dive in, and I'll show you how it works. I'm gonna stick to a couple of areas. The first being the most obvious. The 16 pads that are now flashing because I forgot to plug in my computer. Hold on a second. Okay, we're back. And that was a pretty nice touch by Akai. So yes, we have the standard configuration, 16 velocity sensitive pads, in my opinion, just the right amount for any workflow. Today's workflow, the Master's finger drumming kit. You can get it at gumroad.com/Citythebeatmaster. Go ahead, purchase it, download it, and load it into MPC software. At gumroad.com/Citythebeatmaster, this is where you're going to download the drum kit. If you're like me and you're browsing on mobile, the first thing you're going to see is a box asking for your email address. This is if you want to stay up to date on all the digital products I'm creating that will be available on gumroad.com/Citythebeatmaster. As we continue to scroll or swipe down, you're going to see our first digital product, which is the finger drumming kit by Citythebeatmaster. In the top right hand corner, the price point. Once you click that, you'll be able to see the full contents inside of the finger drumming kit. As you scroll down, you'll see there's a total of 56 unique percussion, drum, and snare samples, along with 3 program files containing the finger drumming kit. Head to the bottom of the page and you'll be greeted with the Buy This button. Next, click that button and it'll add this product to your cart. Once in your cart, click Pay and you'll be sent to a box that shows the credit card or PayPal information. Above that is also important. There's another email address box. In this email address box, you want to make sure you put something in that you have access to. This is where your kits are going to be sent, and this is where you will download your new drum kit. As you continue to go down, you'll see the credit card information you have to fill out and put in before you can process your payment. Or again, just click that PayPal button to check out. Bottom of the page, it shows how much you'll be charged according to the amount of items in your cart and another buy button. Okay, now that I've downloaded my drum kit, I'm gonna go to the destination on my desktop where I saved it. I must say, the pads on this machine feels great. I am coming from the smaller, chunkier MPC 1000 pads, and these have a bigger square, so that's more surface area I can play around with. The same can actually be said for the MPC Studio, though it is smaller in overall size. That was the MPC I test drove to kind of give me an idea on whether or not I wanted to take my chances with the Renaissance or even go with the newer MPCs at all. Glad I test drove the MPC Studio because it ultimately led me into getting the Renaissance, which was pretty much the same machine minus all the other transport controls and buttons that you can access easily to get to the different modes in MPC software. I'm happy with my purchase. Auditioning these pads for the first time, I could tell that something was off. But it wasn't a latency issue. No, these pads are quick, and I mean really quick. Coming from the MPD-24, I could also tell you that I didn't have many high expectations for the new hardware-software infusion that the MPC Renaissance and Studio was bringing to the table. But I mean, look at the way this thing keeps up, or rather, listen. I guess what I'm trying to say is that with the nice LED lights under the pads, I was thinking I was going to see a noticeable difference between the time I was hitting the pads and the lights was triggering and the sound was coming out, but man, I was pleasantly surprised that this thing was on point. I mean, down to the T. Another thing to keep in mind is that your computer's CPU is going to play a major part in how much latency you're going to get, but with the Renaissance, a decent computer, and the built-in sound card that comes with the Renaissance, I think you're really going to be fine. Now, I've definitely came across a handful of times that my sets have been overloaded with lack of CPU power and ultimately affecting the sound and latency, but that can all be fixed just by getting a stronger computer. What I can say is that the MPC Renaissance is a powerhouse for sure, and it's one of the quickest MPCs that I've ever worked on from Akai. Now that you know, they do have the Mpc X, which has the touch interface, the MPC Touch, and the MPC Live. All of these newer MPCs that have the different interface. In my opinion, I still would recommend the Renaissance because of the classic screen. I mean, it's the perfect blend of classic and new. But if by any chance Akai hears this and they actually come up with a classic screen mode that they could add to the newer MPC Touches and the X's and the Lives, that can almost give you the option of having the old school screen style and the new school screen style, you know, at the switch of a button. But at this point, the MPC Renaissance is still my favorite machine next to the MPC X. I mean, come on, who doesn't love the MPC X? But back to the pads. I mean, coming from a real MPC, the MPC 1000, and coming to this, there is definitely a difference in response time between the moment you hit a pad and the moment you get a sound. And that really goes back to what I was saying before. It really kind of depends on the computer, but of course, a hardware MPC is always going to be quicker than an MPC that's going to rely on the use of software from your computer and not have everything built into the box. So pretty much all in all, this has been the fastest controller I've ever worked on, and I think with the power of the computer, you really can't compare it to any of the other MPCs. That's why I'm gonna back Akai and call this the most powerful MPC ever built. Now, at the time of this recording, the MPC X is out. Something probably will be out a couple years after that, and this is just my preference for now. But go ahead, Akai, send me the MPC X and I'll update this review and we'll see how I feel about it. But I do have a feeling that it's probably going to be my new favorite. Playing around with this MPC, I quickly noticed that what was off was the 16 level section, full level section, and half level section that I hadn't triggered. That's right, when you first plug it in, you're gonna have to explore what setting you want to have this thing on when you're ready to go. I usually keep my MPC on full level all the time. That just means that I can EQ, test the levels and bring all the levels to where I want them on each pad, down to wherever I need them to be in the MPC software, but keeping full level on as my default. That means I'm always going to get the same hit every time I hit the pads, or for lack of a better word, the same velocity. Now the 16 level section is pretty cool. That one is going to control one pad, or the last pad that you hit, and spread it out amongst all 16 different pads, from levels of almost quiet to the loudest thing and loudest level that you can get out of your MPC. And of course, half level is going to be half the level of the full level. So whatever the half level volume is across the 16 pads, that's what it's going to give you consistently across all of the pads. I think the thing that's going to hit home with these classic modes of full level, half, and 16 level, they're really going to appeal to the music producers that are, used to using a mouse and clicking in different notes and changing volumes. That's something that the hardware is going to offer to you instantly, and you'll find that you can be very creative in changing the way your beats sound and just exploring the different workflows of the MPC. Moving on to the stop, play start, overdub, and recording functions of this unit. These functions do exactly as they're named. If you were to hit the tap tempo, that would change your tempo. Play, start, stop, all those controls are going to control the sequence. Whether you want to stop mid-set, whether you want to stop to go back and change something, whether you want to start at the playhead, whether you want to record something, overdub, add some notes, or completely record the entire sequence again. These are the buttons that you're going to use to do those things. You can also use the transport controls to move between bars while in playback or out of playback to different points where you might feel as though you need to change something. Also, the note repeat and erase functions make it super easy when adding notes and removing notes using the MPC software. Using all of these functions on the hardware, you're going to find yourself using your mouse and keyboard a lot less. I think all of these features with the MPC Renaissance really made it a buy for me over the MPC Studio. I mean, the fact that you get all of these controls on the hardware that also reflect on the software, I mean, it was pretty much what sealed the deal between getting this or the MPC Studio at the time. And I think that's also the case for the MPC Live, the MPC X, and the MPC Touch. So that's it for this introductory video, but Akai has provided a playlist of videos to help you better understand these modes and see them in action as it pertains to music production. You can easily find these videos with a search of MPC University on YouTube, or click the playlist link in the description of this video. But to continue on with the finger drumming tutorials by Citythebeatmaster, make sure to head over to gumroad.com/Citythebeatmaster to get the Master's Finger Drumming Kit, leave an email for updates, and subscribe to the YouTube channel, Citythebeatmaster. Why don't you check out these recommended videos similar to this topic, or the playlist that we have on all of our finger drumming tutorials and how to get started with the Master's Finger Drumming Kit.